So hi and welcome to today's video. So today I'm going to be reviewing a few different products, and those are from the Bouncers Wax range. So as you can see, they're here behind me. So full disclaimer, these were sent over to me for free by Jay over at Bouncers Wax. So thanks very much if you are watching this video, really appreciate it, and the chance to kind of try these products out. However, saying that, just because these products were sent to me doesn't mean that the review is going to be biased. These are all my own opinions, and if the product's crap, I'm going to tell you. So basically, I'm just going to start off by talking about the products that I've actually got in terms of just kind of giving you a little bit of a mini review on them all, really. So I'm going to start with one of the kind of most well-known products in this range, and that is this one here. So this is Bouncers Bead Juice. So this is a sealant by Bouncers. So it is, if you're looking, they do a lot of waxes, hence the name, they do make other products. So this is the sealant in the range. So what's really kind of good about this product that I really liked is the fact that you can use it anywhere on the exterior. So you can use it on glass, and you can use it on the paint, you can use it on wheels and things like that. So I think that it's quite a versatile product. It's also quite good in terms of its application. So there are two different ways that you can apply this product. So you can apply it dry as you would normally. So you dry the car, you'd essentially what you do, spritz it on the panel, wipe it over with a microfiber, let it haze, which takes just a few seconds, and then just buff off. So it's got that kind of quick application in terms of the dry application, but there also is another method you can use, which is the method I prefer to use, and that is a wet application. So if you ever try this product here, called G on Wet Coat, then you'll sort of know a bit about these spray and rinse sealants. So effectively what you do is you wash the car as normal, rinse it down, and as the panels are still wet, what you can do is spritz it on the panel again and then just immediately power wash it off, or you can kind of spread it with a wash mitt, a clean one that you've not used to actually wash the car, but just clean wash mitt, and then spread it on and then rinse it off to kind of get the more even coverage than just spraying it on. It's up to you. I've tried both methods and it works pretty well either way. So if you've watched my review of that, you'll know I'm a big fan of these kind of spray and rinse sealants. So I just like the fact that they're so quick, and particularly heading into winter, they're just very easy to apply, and it's just going to take a few minutes. So I've used this on a Renault Scenic that wasn't in great condition, to be honest, but needed some protection. So it had G on Wet Coat. I stripped that off first to kind of get a fair sort of test, and then I put that Bouncers Bead Juice on the top, and I was really happy. So in terms of the actual finish, in terms of gloss, it wasn't blowing me away. It left a nice finish, but there were glossier products out there. The condition of the paint wasn't great, which definitely didn't help. But it's not the glossiest product in the world, but it's fine. It's not something you'd probably use on a show car or something like that, but it leaves a decent finish. With regards to the finish as well, it is quite slick, so that's good. So you get things like dust and dirt aren't grabbing to it quite as much as with sort of grabbier products. So I've tried, I think it's sort of somewhere around here, I've tried Sonak's BSD, which is a little bit more grabby. It's a detailer spray, but it's a bit grabby and it tends to attract dirt a little bit more. So this doesn't have that problem, which I really liked. In terms of the hydrophobics, on application, the reaction's brilliant. It beads really well. It looks really cool when you're power washing it off. So it beads really well. It looks good in the rain. In terms of the sheeting, it's pretty quick. Not the quickest sheeting that I've ever tried, but it's up there. I've tried, you can probably see it just a little bit there, Infused Coat, which just throws water off the surface. It's not quite as good as that. There is some good sheeting ability, but it's not, you know, there are better, but it performs quite highly in this kind of category, so I won't really be too critical on that. I do think that in terms of hydrophobics, it does really well. I can't comment on the durability because I haven't tested it for that long yet. After around sort of 3 weeks of application, it's still beading the same as it did when I initially applied it. It's not really dyed much, so it's doing a bit better than G on Wet Coat at the moment. So I definitely like that. And in terms of a comparison to that as well, I think that the actual application, it tended to be a little bit more hydrophobic on application, and just a bit more reactive, which you can kind of see when you do these spray and rinse products. So it'd be interesting, actually, I might do it a future video if you're interested in that, comment and let me know, but a comparison between those two products, just to see whether G on Wet Coat is kind of the better spray and rinse sealant. If I'm honest, having used both briefly, I'd say that probably the Bouncers Wax is probably the one that I'd be more tempted to buy. It's a similar price. I think it's actually slightly cheaper, by like 50p or something like that. But if you are looking for that kind of spray and rinse sealant product, then this is a good one to have a look at. So it's talking a price, it's $11.99 for 500ml. You can get bigger versions, which is really good about bouncers. They do a litre and a 5 litre, litre and a 5 litre version as well. But mostly you're probably going to go for the 500ml. So it's £12 for that, $11.99, which I think is quite a good price. Again, sort of quite similar to that kind of price point. These spray and rinse sealants, you can find them a little bit more expensive than that. So I think the price is quite competitive. In terms of the durability, again, I can't massively comment. It does claim 3 to 4 months, so it'd be interesting to see how well it stands up. Perhaps I'll provide an update. If you aren't following me on Instagram already, it might come up on there, so check out my Instagram. I'll leave a link in the description to that. So that's the first product that I've tried out, this Bouncers Bead Juice. So overall, very impressed with that one. The second one I want to talk about is this one here, so I'll grab it. So it's this one, it's Bouncers Done and Dusted SI Edition. So a little bit of background, Bouncers have 2 quick detailers, so they have Bouncers Done and Dusted and Bouncers Done and Dusted SI Edition. So the difference is that the other one's got silicon dioxide inside in the formulation. So it's one of those kind of ceramic infused quick detailers that I know a lot of manufacturers have been making, and I do tend to prefer them over traditional quick detailers just because the water repellency and durability is a little bit better. But it's up to you. They do a non-SI infused edition of this, just a normal quick detailer. It's kind of traditional quick detailer, and then they do this one. So there is a little bit of a debate, and I've seen it on other videos. I've seen it on Obsessive Car Detailer did a video on this actually. So let me know if you're watching and your thoughts. But basically, a bit of a debate as to whether this is a quick detailer or a spray sealant. So it does say on the back that it can be used as a standalone product or it can be used to top up. So it doesn't particularly matter, I guess, which category you want it to fall into or which category you think it's in. It's more how you would use the product. So I've used this as a standalone product on a van, and it left a really nice finish and it had pretty good water repellency on its own. If you want to use it as a standalone product, go ahead. If you want to use it as a quick detailer, then obviously it is technically formulated for that. Bouncers Bead Juice is what you would class as the sealant from their range. So it's up to you how you want to use it. It doesn't really matter, but generally what you're going to get from this is better durability if you choose the SI edition rather than just the normal one. So in terms of the actual application, it would go on typically how you put any quick detailer on. You put it on, spread it with a microfiber, and then within a few seconds really it does haze very, very quickly, and you just flip it and wipe it over with another microfiber. So if you use quite a low pile microfiber, that tends to yield kind of better results. You'll get the fibres sort of sticking and it gets better removal of products with that kind of low pile towel, as it's got a little bit more bite to it when you wipe things off than the plusher ones that tend not to remove products quite as well. So if you are going to use this, I would use a low pile microfiber instead of those kind of plusher ones. In terms of application, I did try out a light coloured car. I tried out a silver one, so it's hard to see streaking and things like that. However, I could see it haze and I could see it buff off easily, so I didn't experience any issues with streaking or anything like that. So in terms of application, it was very easy, so I definitely liked that. What's good as well is that you can put it on all different surfaces, again like the sealant, so you can put it on glass if you want a bit of protection on there. I tend not to use quick details on glass. I tend to use sort of specific glass cleaners, but it's the options there if you want to do that as well. So I do like this product. In terms of gloss, it looks pretty good on application. I was quite happy with it. Not the glossiest product I've ever tried, but you probably won't be disappointed with it. The finish does look very nice, and it also is quite slick as well. So again, with those kind of self-cleaning properties, it's not kind of sticking to dirt as much as tends to be those kind of grabbier products like Sonax BSD, which I keep going on about in this video. But basically, it leaves a nice finish. I did enjoy using the product. The only drawback I would say is the price. So this is $14.99, so we'll just call it $15. There are quick details out there that are that price, but I'd prefer it if it was. I prefer buying quick details that are sort of more towards the £10 mark, somewhere around 12. It sort of, for me, I'd be tempted just to use the Bouncers Bead Juice, just because it's slightly cheaper and you can use that dry application method with it. So it's going to offer you probably similar if you're looking for durability. However, obviously, if you want that kind of quick detailer style products, then you're probably going to prefer just to go ahead and pick that up. So $14.99 is not horrendous, it's not that steep, but it is reasonably expensive for a quick detailer. But if you want a cheap one, you can go ahead and get their bouncers done and dusted, non-SI edition. That is a bit cheaper, but you're not going to get as much durability out of that. So speaking of durability, while I'm here, I can't comment on it. I've seen other people sort of talk about maybe a month, and it's still looking good after a month. So unfortunately, the car that I did try it on for the first time, I don't have access to someone else's car, so I can't actually test that well. But in terms of durability, again, it is a quick detailer, so if you're going to get a month or two out of this, then it's probably quite good. That seems to be what other people are getting. But again, if you're going to chuck it on after every wash, maybe washing your car weekly, then that durability is probably not going to be as much of a concern. So that's my kind of thoughts on that product. I did really like it, very easy to use, left a really nice finish. Would prefer it if it was a touch cheaper, but I appreciate that it is quite a premium product, and having that kind of ceramic sort of infusion with it is going to yield a sort of higher price, so I understand that. So next I wanted to talk about the glass spray, so the glass cleaner here. So this is Bouncers Look Sharp. So there's not a whole lot to say about this. It is £10 for this one, so you get 500ml for the £10 option. You can of course get the 1 litre and the 5 litre as well. I think that most, if not all, of the Bouncers products do that option for a higher volume. In terms of glass cleaner, it cleaned really well. Didn't have any issues with streaking or smearing, even when used on reasonably high temperatures. It did a good job of cleaning, but the only thing is that for me this doesn't offer anything that special. I do like using, you can kind of see it here, the Carchem Clear Vision, I think it's Clear Vision or Clearview, glass cleaner, as that has a water repellent coating built into the glass cleaner. So it's good for exterior windows. I would potentially be tempted just to use this on the interior, as I prefer using the water repellent ones on the exterior. The price, again, £10 for this, it's probably quite standard. However, I picked up that Clear Vision for around £8, so I think it's called Clearview actually, but I picked it up for around £10 anyway. So to get that water repellent sort of ability for a little bit cheaper, it's not the cheapest glass spray. It's not a product that you would see and you go, I'm going to order some off Bouncers because of that product. It's something that, you know, if you're going to order one of these other products or anything else in the range and you're running low on your glass cleaner and you want to chuck this on the order to get free delivery or something like that, and you're running low or whatever, then you can know that this glass cleaner is not going to let you down. It's a good glass cleaner, but it's just not offering anything extra, is what I'm kind of trying to say with that. So it's a good glass cleaner, it works fine, so there's not too much more to say. The final products that I wanted to talk about was the Bouncers Inside Job. So that is it's this one here, and that is their interior detailer spray. So what it's going to do, it's got very light cleaning abilities. I tend not to use quick detailers on anything that you would look at and say that's dirty. You'd use it on something that was a bit dusty maybe, and you wouldn't use it on anything that had maybe like staining or hadn't been cleaned in a long time. You would just use this to kind of, after you've cleaned it, to sort of spruce it up a little bit. So it's offering you kind of that protection on your plastics basically inside your car. So I really liked using this. It went on really easily. Didn't have any issues with streaking or smearing or anything like that. It was overall did what I wanted it to do, kind of offering that bit of protection. Smelled nice as well, which is a definite plus. But one thing that I want to talk about with this product is the fact that it's not something you would use on older plastics. So I did try it on more faded plastics and it just didn't, you know, when you see sort of interior dressing, sometimes they really bring them back to life and really darken them, and they look a lot better. It was fine, it worked alright, but it's not, it's more of a natural finish. So if you've got a newer car or something that's been well kept, well maintained, then this is going to work perfectly, because you're not going to be applying that kind of sticky sort of obvious finish to it. It's just going to look like a kind of factory finish. So this is something that I use on my own car now. I really like the finish. It's kind of like a barely there sort of thing. So it's just offering you protection rather than that kind of visual transformation that some of the other interior detailers are offering. like the auto, I don't know if it's here, but the Auto Finesse spritz, I think it's called, is, if you've ever tried that, that's offering a little bit more in terms of the darkening effect, whereas this, it's sort of that more factory finish. To me, it's offering more protection than kind of that visual transformation, as I've said. So if you are using it or are planning to use it on cars that are maybe a bit neglected, they've got that faded grey kind of plastic, this, you might need something else that's just going to offer that little bit more. Or if you've got a newer car, then this is probably going to suit you quite well. So just something to be aware of in terms of your expectations when you try the product, if you decide to go and get it. So I just wanted to say thanks again to Jay over at Bouncers for sending me products. Really appreciate it, and I hope he's happy with my kind of honest feedback. You know, I do really like the products, but I just wanted to give my kind of honest review on them and who I think they'd be suitable for. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, it'd be great if you could give the video a like. If you could comment down below if you've got any questions about the products or anything else, any recommendations. I love hearing people's recommendations in the comments, even though it does slightly ruin my bank account. I'm going to keep buying stuff, but I do like hearing them anyway, adding them to my Christmas list. But thanks for watching. Again, subscribe if you aren't already. It'd be great if you could subscribe. There's plenty more coming out, different products reviews, vehicle transformations and all that kind of stuff. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.